Hello everyone. Today I'm going to discuss the 20th question of database management system. Let's see the question. Here's the question set 20, but the scenario is same as in the question set 16. So here's the scenario. Here's the questions for today. In the first part, find the number of students who participated in the first term science subject. So in the first question, we have to find the number of students who sat for the first term for the science subject. For that, we have to write a query. I'm going to use the join query for this. I'm going to use the join query because we have to join two tables, first term table and the subject table. In this question, I'm going to join term table and subject table to the student mark record table. So by that we can get the results quickly. So let's see the query. Here's the query for the first question. I have already write the query and I have execute the query. So you can see here, I have joined the subject table and the term table. I have joined the subject table and the term table to the student mark record table. So you can see the three tables has been joined by this query, by this join query, but in here I have get all the results. I have get all the results by this query, but in the question we want to find the number of students, not all the columns. In here I have get all the columns, I have get all the tables in here. But in the question, we only ask the number of students. So in here, I'm going to use the count, the function called count. In the count function, we can count the number, we can count the values. So that I'm going to use the count query. Here you can see I have used the function called count for this table for the column student index number. So in this function the index number will be counted. Now I am going to execute this query. So you can see the result for this query is 8 because 8 student has been set for the first term for the subject science. So here's the answer for the first question. In the second question, what is the minimum score obtained by the first term students? So in the second question also, we have to find the minimum score obtained by the first term students. For this question also, I'm going to use the join queries. In the second question, I'm going to join the subject table to the mark record table. Let's see. Here's the query for the second question. In here, I have joined the exam term table to the mark record table. So you can see here the results. The term table has been joined into the student exam record table. So here's the here I have get all the records. I have get all the records without filtering. In the question asked, in the question we want to find the minimum score. We want to find the minimum score. So there is a function called min. There's a function called min to calculate the minimum value of the given data. So in here I'm going to use the minimum function. Here you can see this is the function min, and I'm going to find the mean of the mark. Here you can see here's the marks, and I'm going to find the minimum value of this column. So I'm going to execute this. So you can see this is the minimum value. This is the minimum mark obtained by the student. The answer is 10.5. So now I'm going to discuss the third question. Find the number of students who participated in the second term mathematics subject. Here also I'm going to join the tables. In here I'm going to join the term table and the subject table to the exam mark record table. So let's see. Here's the query for the third question. In here you can see I have joined the three tables. The first one is subject table and the next one is term table, and I have joined those two tables into the student exam mark record table. Now you can see here the result in the query also, and I have given two conditions. The first condition is the term name should equal to the first term, second term, and the subject name should equal to the mathematics. So here are the conditions. So here are the results for this query. But in the question we get we have to find the number of students. So in here also I have to use the count function. I have to use the function called count to find the number of students. So let's see. Here's the count function, and I have count the student index number in the student exam mark record. So here's the student index number, and I have used the count function called count to count the number of students who sat for the second term and for the subject mathematics. So I'm going to execute this query. So you can see the answer is 9. 9 student has been set for the mathematics in the second term. So here's the answer for the third question. In the fourth question, which subject got the lowest marks in the first term? In here also I have to join mark table for the mark table and the subject table to the mark record table. So let's see. Here's the query for the fourth question. In here I have joined subject table and the exam term table into the student exam mark record table. So here you can see I have used the condition term name equal to the first term. So here's the query, and you can see the result. I have joined those three tables. But in the question we ask which subject. So in here we have to find the subject, not all the records. In the question we ask which subject got the lowest marks. For this also we have to use the function mean. So let's see. So here's the function. I have get the minimum value of the subject name in the subject table, the subject name. So here's the subject name, and I have to get the minimum value. Now I'm going to execute this query. So you can see the lowest mark has been gained for the mathematics subject. The answer for the fourth question is mathematics. In the fifth question, find the name of the student who got the lowest mark in all the subjects in the first term. In the fifth question, we have to inner join student table, term table, and the student mark record table. Let's see. Here's the query for the last question. In here, I have joined the student exam mark record table and the student table and the term table. So here you can see I have joined those two tables into the student exam mark record table. But I have get all the results, but in the question we only ask find the name of the student who got the lowest mark. In here also we have to use the minimum function because the question asked to find the lowest mark. So I'm going to use the minimum. I'm going to use the function called mean. I'm going to use the minimum function. So here's the min function, and I have asked the first name of the student. So I'm going to execute this. So you can see the answer is Amanda. Amanda has got the least mark for the first term. So here's the answer for the last question. Today I have discussed the question set 20. So thank you everyone for listening.